Let's talk about being alone, feeling alone. There was a time in my life where I felt like I was a single mom. I identified with being a single mom, not having anyone to help me raise my kids. It was quite lonely there. I also, at that same time, felt alone in the idea of having friends. Not all the time. Personally, I only like to have a few close friends. But now I can see that I have so many friends, and I'm not a single mom. And I want to tell you about my journey, how I changed my beliefs, how I redefined my life in these aspects. When I was feeling alone, I was in a kind of a low vibe. I was able to work super hard, and I basically worked too hard and made myself super independent, and I'm so glad that I am able to do that I can do it all on my own. I have proven to myself that I can do it all on my own. And now I'm, I guess, ready to take a different approach in life. I have learned this through basically gaining all this independence and having the ability to be a single mom and doing it and making it all happen and having plenty of money, having some fun along the way with the kids. But I didn't really accept myself or love my life during that time. My typical vibe was being rushed, feeling obligated to live my life, basically, feeling obligated to go to work, obligated to find a babysitter. Now I look at it as though if I want to work, it can be more of a good thing, a desire, not an obligation. I don't have to do these things. And as I ground myself, be vulnerable, as I meditate, do yoga, focus on my spirituality, I break out of that low vibe and redefine aspects of myself, of my life. And it changes my world for me. And it's so amazing now because I don't have to work. And from my perspective a few years ago, when I was working like crazy, making that money, I could never see myself not working. I mean, maybe retirement if I live that long, but basically my life was I work. This is what I do. I provide for my kids. As a single mom, I provide everything alone for my kids and basically have no support system. That's how I felt. That's what I identified with. After I've learned to redefine my life, my desires, studied the Tao and many other religious things. Basically dug into my spirituality, learned how to increase my vibration, my frequency, learned how to ground myself and identify with what I choose to identify with, instead of being obligated to identify with being a single mom, being obligated to identify with not having friends or not wanting many friends. Just a second. I started to see my life in a whole new light. Oh, and it's so beautiful. You see, I know now that I don't like having a lot of friends, and that's okay with me. But I do have a huge support system. So one of my friends a few months ago said, "Wow, Amanda, you have a lot of support people in your life." And I didn't believe that because, like I said, I identified with not having a lot of friends. So I wanted to dig into that aspect of my life. So I took my journal out and I started writing. I spent about a week on focusing on whether or not I have support people in my life, so I could really see that part of my life more clearly. And after a week, I figured out that I have 17 support people in my life. Since then, I found out I have so many more, but during that week, I found 17. So I would kind of break down a little bit or need some help, need someone to lift me up, reach out to people for them to help me in my times of need throughout that week. And I just found so many people willing to help me. And during that week, so many people that I don't talk to that often reached out to me randomly. I mean, some of them, probably half of them, I reached out to them, but then the other half of them, they reached out to me. And as I was going through my week, I would just think in the back of my head, okay, is this actually another support person? And I went to my journal and wrote down their name and kind of like how they helped me. And I, at the end, tallied it up and there were 17 of them. And I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. I tell myself I only have 2 friends, but in reality, I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of people who help me. And it brought me back to this state of abundance, just another area in my life where I can now see the abundance. It just grows from everywhere. Oh, it's so beautiful when I can stay grounded and in my state of high vibration. I can really see all these things. And then in relation to the single mom idea, I'm not exactly sure how this happened. I blame it on just the grounding, the journaling, all these new spiritual things that I'm doing for myself, of seeing abundance in my life. And somehow the universe just told me, God told me, you are not actually a single mom. You have so many people helping you raise your children. When I was working so much, I was just stuck on this vibe of I'm the only one doing it and I have to do it all and I have to make so much money and I have to buy so much stuff for my kids. But this high vibe showed me that I'm not alone in it. I have so many people helping me raise my children, including my children, because they're getting a little older now and they are getting more responsible. So, for example, my oldest daughter helps my twins, my two middle children, and all three of those older ones help my baby. And so them helping each other is helping me. And then aside from just my children helping to raise each other, my kind of other daughter, I have an abundance of children, as I said, including my children's friends who identify with me being their mother indirectly, kind of. I noticed that my ex-husband's daughter, who was my daughter, and I still claim her as my daughter, she's helping me raise my kids. She's still young, early 20s, and she is helping immensely. She's helping my children do their homework, learn how to do their laundry and take care of their room, manage their money. She is doing amazing at this, and I didn't even have to ask her to help me. I just started seeing it. She was doing it a little bit when I couldn't see it, but now that I can see it, she's doing an incredible job of it. As well as my ex-husband, her dad. He is such an incredible aspect to my life. He helps me in more ways than anyone helps me, and we hardly even talk or see each other anymore. We just see each other when we're dropping off and picking up the kids, and we talk when we talk about the kids. But my kids is my life. That is what I live for right now. And he is the only adult who will do anything, put aside everything in his life to serve my children. And that is, I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful to have him in my life. And occasionally we fight, but mostly now we can get along great and get past our differences. Like, for example, he knows I don't like McDonald's, but for some reason he still takes the kids there. But I know he's helping. I know he loves them. I know he means well, and McDonald's is not going to kill them. So I can put aside that little difference that we have and still be grateful for him and not fight with him. I used to kind of fight with him over, oh, don't give the kids that cow's milk, that pasteurized cow's milk. Don't give them that meat that has hormones in it. But now I can see that those battles are not worth mine and his relationship. We have a very strong bond, and we both used to bicker about each other. Oh, do this, do that. And now we have come to this place where we can just get along and know that we're doing this together, and we are kind of each other's best asset in this idea of not being a single parent. I also have my friends who help me raise my kids indirectly and sometimes directly, and that's beautiful. My family, of course, my mom talks to my children, my sisters, my brother, they all help in their own ways that they can. And so I'm no longer a single mom. I can see that I don't have to do this all on my own. And when it comes to finances, I have plenty of money coming in, and since finances is a need for raising children, you have to have money to give them food and clothes and things like that. I have a roommate, and he is super helpful in the financial department, and I'm very glad to have him helping me indirectly raise my kids. I believe that's all I had to say about feeling alone. So hopefully you can find your ways of finding that area in your life where you feel alone or lost and redefine that. Find your way to redefine that and turn that around so you don't have to be stuck in that vibe of feeling lost and alone. Peace.